move forward and talk about hand checking. If there's a situation that we could call an irritant in the game, it is this concept of hand checking or hands-on. The video that we're actually going to see is the picture that you see on the right. Have a look while I'm talking at that picture on the right. What do you see? Well, I see an obvious play. And with hand checking, we need to address the obvious plays, as we do with everything. But with hand checking, we need to address the obvious plays that everybody else can see. And we have a number of tools to do that. We have the rules that guide us, but we also have the practical actions of the game. We talk about verbal support. Well, that verbal support also includes during a live ball. We need to prevent, but we need to take action. So we need to encourage, hands off, no hands. We use preventative officiating. During the live ball, we use those words. We encourage you to do so. However, you can't be in a position of crying wolf, of Chicken Little. You can't do it from the start of the game for the entire 40 minutes. Perhaps the first trip up the floor, hands off. Perhaps the first trip up the floor in the second half, hands off. But it's not continual. If the players do not change and adjust, that's why you have the whistle, is to take the action and address the plays. We also have to understand the difference between a situation where players are moving and players are stationary. Certainly, we will allow a player to measure, to use one hand to find where their opponent is, but that hand must come off. It cannot remain there. We look for hand checking. Does it disturb the rhythm, speed, balance, and quickness of the offense, RSBQ? If it does, we have an illegal contact that has a consequence and rises to a foul. Two hands on an opponent with the ball, an opponent attempting to make a basketball play, it's a foul. We need not think. This is basic. We don't allow this situation that you can see in the picture that the player places two hands on. It's illegal. It creates an advantage. It creates a contact. It creates a consequence, and we need to address it. We look for this action versus reaction. Make sure we understand who creates the contact. Think about this as our cylinder principle that we've emphasized for the last couple of years. Think about our timing. Again, we process the whole play. We look for cadence. We need a cadence whistle on a number of these hand checks where you try and allow the situation to end. Maybe you've prevented or officiated. You've said hands off. They haven't come off. So now you have a cadence whistle and call the foul. And again, verbal support. Communicate with people. Let's have a look at our video of this whole play. And can you see opportunities for the referee to address an obvious play, to prevent on this play? Do you recognize the two hands on?
Moves it on to Brasino. Deflected away, will stay with.
And Petri, we'll try and stop at about the point of the picture that was on the screen. So somewhere here. So on this play, the referee has an open angle. They're looking at this play, but they don't take action. They haven't taken the opportunity to prevent. We're pretty early in this game. Yes, we're 5 minutes and 44 seconds in, but we don't have a lot of scoring in the game. It's early. If we allow this play at this point and we don't address it, we have a risk And our risk is that this game either gets too physical or we encourage this type of hand checking. This is a foul, and we either try and prevent it, but we must take action on it. We have two hands on, and we need to call this foul. It's very simple. There's nothing complex. Very foundational, very basic. Two hands on creates an advantage and a consequence. It's got nothing to do with the disparity in the size between these players. These are men. They're big, strong people. This creates an advantage and has a consequence. We need to address it using the principles we talked about earlier.